In the coffee houses and salons of Paris, a new set of ideas was circulating like wildfire through the intellectual landscape. These were the principles of the Enlightenment, a philosophical revolution that had been building for decades, waiting for the moment when people would be desperate enough to embrace them. The Enlightenment was a rejection of everything medieval, everything based on blind faith and unquestioned authority. It was a celebration of reason, science, and human potential. Philosophers like Voltaire were openly mocking the absurdity of absolute monarchy. He was asking dangerous questions that no one had dared to ask before. If a king's power was not actually divine but just power, why couldn't it be questioned? Why couldn't it be challenged? Why couldn't it be limited? These questions seemed absolutely absurd to the old order, revolutionary and dangerous. But to the young, to the educated, to those suffering under the system, they were liberating. They offered hope that things could be different. Jean-Jacques Rousseau had written profound words that legitimate government could only exist with the consent of the governed. Imagine that idea being whispered in the coffee houses. The consent of the governed. Not the will of God. Not the tradition of kings. Not because someone's grandfather was king. The consent of the people. The will of ordinary human beings. This was radical. This was revolutionary. Once these ideas were nothing more than mere theories, interesting intellectual exercises for educated men sitting in salons, debating over wine late into the night. But then something happened that changed everything. Something that made these ideas seem not just possible, but necessary and achievable. The American Revolution. The colonists overthrew a king and established a republic based on written rights and popular sovereignty. They proved that these ideas could actually work in practice. They proved that ordinary people could govern themselves. They proved that democracy was not just a dream, and thousands of French soldiers had fought in that war. They had tasted freedom and returned home with stories of a new world being built.